Today we're taking a look at the Fire TV Cube. I just got mine in the mail. We're going to do a little unboxing here to start with, show you everything that comes with it, and then a little bit later in this same video, we're going to do a side-by-side comparison of the Fire TV Cube versus the Fire TV 3, Fire TV Pendant, however you want to call it. So let's dive in here, see what comes with the Fire TV Cube and what you can expect. Now, I'll say right off the bat, this is probably the biggest Fire TV box I've ever seen Amazon have. And it has tape on both sides of it. So let's get this open. There we go. One thing I do like about Amazon recently is they have made their boxes very easy to open. No knives, you just kind of have these little pull tabs here, and it works really well. So right here is the Fire TV Cube. Comparable in weight to the second gen Fire TV, but I will definitely say that this, I'll leave that on for the moment, I will definitely say this is a little bit heavier. It does have a lot of additional tech in it that the Fire TV 2 did not. For instance, it basically has a full echo dot in the top there. So you can see the volume, the mute button right here, the little far field microphones, those little holes or tiny microphones with it. Seems to have a speaker on the bottom right there. And then on the back you can see there is a, I guess I'll take this off. This is a guide on how to set up your Fire TV Cube with your sound system and everything. At least 1 foot away from speakers. Have an unobstructed unobstructed and facing where you sit, and not in a closed cabinet. So this is not a Fire TV that you want to shove in a corner, is basically what Amazon is saying there. There we go. All right, so it comes with a USB-C connector. Come on, there we go. Come on, refocus. Okay, so USB connector there where you can connect different peripherals. There is a Ethernet adapter with this, an infrared where you can get it to transmit to your TV to control your TV's infrared, HDMI and power. Let's see what else comes in the box. So you got some of the manuals, pretty straightforward. How to set it up, a little walkthrough on the Fire TV Cube, some of the different commands you can use with it. You have a power cord, exactly like all the other Amazon power cords. You have the infrared retransmitter, so you can go and control your TV through your Fire TV to turn it on and off. And then you have the Ethernet adapter right here. So kind of wish they had just built that into it. But it is a little cable you can plug in the back with Ethernet. And then another micro, that looks like a micro USB connector. Yeah, they're both micro USB connectors. I think I may have said USB-C earlier in this video. No, they're micro USB connectors. And then lastly is the Fire TV remote. And again, this looks exactly like all other Fire TV remotes. I will say though, they have done a better job with the explanation on this. How to open these remotes confused a lot of people when they first launched this design, and they've clearly spent some time to make it a little bit more clear. So let's get off the little piece of protection, and it looks exactly like the Fire TV 2, the Fire TV 3 remote there. And lastly, there's 2 batteries in there. So this is everything that comes with it. You got the Fire TV, you got the Ethernet adapter, you have the standard remote, IR blaster, and the power cable. Let me go set this all up, connect it to my TVs, and let's get ready for a side-by-side comparison. Well, I've been playing around with the Fire TV Cube for a little while now. I've been impressed. The setup was super simple, like all Fire TVs are. Log in my Amazon account, everything kind of populates, it does the rest for it. The infrared IR blaster that acts like a universal remote was very simple to set up. I just had to make sure it was in a fair line of sight to the infrared receiver on my LG TV here. And then it just, if you've ever used a self-programming one, it just tries a bunch of codes until it figures out which one will turn on and off the TV, and then you're able to do that. Past that, it's almost identical, at least in the user interface section here, to the Fire TV 3 Pendant. I've set them up here for a side-by-side. On the left is the Fire TV Cube, the brand new device that came out today. On the right is the Fire TV 3, the Fire TV Pendant, whatever you want to call it. Basically an oversized Fire TV stick. These both are running off of Wi-Fi. They both have a direct line of sight. They're not, no device has a better line of sight to the Wi-Fi router. So it should give a very accurate feel for the power of it. The only big difference with the Fire TV Cube is there's one extra row right now, and it's tips and tricks of the Fire TV Cube. I think the pendant also launched with this, if I remember right. Just some videos you can watch on how to set up different things, switching to cable or satellite, doing more, and then just, you know, tips to get the most out of your Fire TV Cube. But let's kind of start here at the top, and let's do a basic speed test. Let's just see about scrolling right through. You can see they're very similar in speed, functionality. Some of the rows are slightly different, probably because the one on the right has a few extra apps installed that the one left did not install. Let's go back into available with Prime. Did I go by it? I think I went by it on the right. There we go. All right, let's kind of launch in here and take a look at what is available with it. Let's kind of jump into Batman here. I won't play it very long, but I'll give you an idea of how quickly both of these launch. And the Fire TV 3, the one on the left, seemed to actually do a little bit better, even though it's got more stuff installed on it. Let's try this a few more times. Let's go to Stargate just to quickly launch in. And this time, the Fire TV 3, again, a little bit faster. Let's go back to the home screen. Very similar production on both of those, but I would have to say the Fire TV 3 definitely was faster. Let's try this again. They go, oh, let's back out. I wasn't synced there. I got out of order. All right, let's go back to the home screen and do this again real quick, just so you get an idea. Let's launch into Batman. Yeah, so close. I would say any difference in speed is minor. I will say though, in my testing before I shot this video, I did feel like at times the Fire TV 3 was just a hair faster. They do share basically the same processor. The Fire TV Cube has a little bit more internal storage. But I wonder if the fact that the Fire TV Cube is also basically an Echo Dot with the Echo on top, where you can use voice commands to say, Alexa, and have what's the weather? So as you can see there, it pulled that information without me touching the remote on it. So it just, maybe that is the cause of just a tiniest of tiny lag behinds of the Fire TV 3 pendant. Let's use the voice search. I won't say the name until I'm ready, but to do the same searches, but using the remote, pressing the button at the same time and seeing what happens. What is the weather in Dallas, Texas? The 3 that time did not, for some reason, pick it up. What is the weather in Las Vegas? Very similar, but you do notice a little difference here. The Fire TV Cube is a full screen, where the Fire TV 3 is independent. And you also notice I have a heat icon warning there. Both of them show the heat advisory, but not. They're both not showing the red one. So slightly different UI there on the interface. Let's try something different. Open King of the Hill. And the 3 did not do it. Let's try this again. Play King of the Hill. This did not happen in my early testing. Let's try something different. What is the weather in Dallas, Texas? So it seems to work both. I'm not sure why the Fire TV 3 is having a little head-to-head with the open feature, but let's try one thing. What was the score of the Detroit Tigers game? What was the score of the Detroit Tigers game? There you go. So as you can see here, again, slightly different user interfaces. That's really what I wanted to point out. I think if you were using these without the head-to-head, I'll try it just with the Fire TV 3 and see if that works better. Open King of the Hill. and it's responding, thinking about it. It doesn't. So I have to say the Fire TV Cube is a better voice features. That was consistent with my testing. It has a slightly different overlay with slightly different views of stuff. Past that, I would honestly say there's no real difference between the Fire TV Cube and the Fire TV 3 in performance, at least when it comes to launching apps, installing it. Now, the Fire TV Cube, if you're somebody who sideloads a lot of content, the Fire TV Cube will have a lot more storage built in for that. The Fire TV Cube and the Fire TV 3 both can get Ethernet with a dongle, so neither one has it built in. The real selling point for the Fire TV Cube is the fact that you got the ability. So you see, I'm got both remotes here. I'm not touching them. Alexa, what is the weather in Grand Rapids, Michigan? And the ability for the Fire TV Cube to turn on and off the TV. Alexa, turn off the TV. And it's probably, yep, it's going to do both.
By the way, in brief mode, I speak less, and for simple messages,
I'd rather you did.
A sound instead, like this.
There we go. Bad timing.
Do you want to try brief mode?
No. In all my testing, it asks that right now while I'm recording, of course. But Alexa, turn on the TV.
Okay.
And you see it, because these are both LG TVs, they both share the same code and they're both booting. So, 2 thumbs up. It does what it says it's supposed to do. It does a good job at it. You can see here the Fire TV Cube will boot faster here because it never actually turned off, where the pendant's being powered by the TV, so it does a complete power off. That's the only difference right there. So hey, questions, comments, let me know. Hit that thumbs up. I'd love to hear what you think. Will you be upgrading to the Fire TV Cube? Do you like it? What don't you like? Let me know. And as always, check out CoreCardsNews.com for daily news, tips, tricks, and our full written review. And every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, we're right here answering your cord cutting related questions live on YouTube for about an hour. Thank you for watching. Hit that thumbs up, really does help us, and hit that subscribe button.